What's going on, everyone? I hope you are all well and welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I wanted to give you an update on the FAFSA Simplification Act and how some elements of that are going to be moving forward. So the Department of Education is going to be implementing some pieces of this legislation for the 2023-2024 academic year. Now, this was to be fully implemented for the 2024-2025 academic year, but Congress allowed some of these pieces to be implemented earlier and sort of create a phased implementation. So essentially what this is reevaluating the cost of attendance and providing more money and support through financial aid offers. Primarily, that is going to be more money for food and housing. So when you think about food, some of the proposed changes to this would be providing enough money that would cover sort of 3 meals a day with a campus meal plan, or if students have not purchased a meal plan, then some sort of equivalent allowance for purchasing food off campus. When it comes to housing, and for students living in properties that are owned by the institution, they are aiming to provide money that would cover either the average or the median cost of current residents in those properties, whichever is greater between those two. So some challenges with the Simplification Act and its implementation is schools right now are currently working on their budgets for next year, so they don't really know what their cost of attendance is going to be. So they can't accurately predict what those financial aid packages are going to look like. Additionally, it's also hard to define cost of attendance. So these institutions do have broad discretion in determining that. Some of the smaller pieces that are being discussed in terms of these financial aid packages would be things such as money for transportation. So if you're looking at transportation to and from campus using some sort of public transportation, how do you determine that cost and how is it different depending on which state you're in? So it's a lot of those smaller things that are very hard to pinpoint at this point in time. So that is currently what's going on. That's currently what a lot of these institutions are trying to look at. There were a few other things with the Simplification Act, or rather the FAFSA Simplification Act, and it is requiring institutions to really sort of establish policies and procedures and how they review elements of the FAFSA, such as the expected family contribution, and also gives financial aid administrators more flexibility in adjusting or reviewing dependency status of students who have unique circumstances, such as those who are homeless or under foster care. So overall, it's moving in the right direction in terms of getting more money to students. However, a lot of this money is still coming through the form of loans, and it doesn't really lower the cost of attendance because there are so many other factors that are contributing to those rising costs. And we know that costs everywhere outside of education, food, housing, transportation, that is all going up. So while this is well intended, is it going to have the impact that we hope it will have? Or is it just going to be sort of an adjusted update to match rising costs just to live and attend school? Now, if you're very familiar with this legislation and there's something that I may have missed, good or bad, will you let me know in the comments? I'm curious to see what's going to happen here, and we have 2 years to see it become fully implemented and what sort of ramifications that's going to have and if it's going to make any difference at all. So still too early to tell, but I'm also curious to see if there's something else that we may be missing. And ultimately, I'm not so sure if it really solves the problem in providing access to everyone to pursue higher education. So we will see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this video and appreciated that update. And if there's anything else that I hear, any updates or anything new, I will be sure to let you know on this channel. So make sure you hit subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.